Hollywood's tightly knit creative culture is facing unexpected criticism from an unlikely place, the oil fields of West Texas. Taylor Sheridan has spoken openly and without restraint, and his comments are quickly drawing attention across the entertainment world. The response has been swift, sparking widespread discussion about culture, storytelling, and who gets to shape modern narratives. It happened in the quiet confines of a pickup truck cab, cruising through the Permian Basin. In the 5th episode of Landman Season 2, titled The Pirate Dinner, the script flips from oil extraction to cultural excavation. Tommy Norris, played by the grizzled Billy Bob Thornton, is trying to entertain his ailing father, T.L., portrayed by the legendary Sam Elliott. When the topic of daytime television arises, specifically the ABC staple The View, Norris unleashes a monologue that cuts through the noise like a diamond drill bit. He describes the show not as entertainment, but as a gathering of pissed-off millionaires complaining about other millionaires and the working man. The delivery is dry, devoid of anger, yet it dismantles the entire premise of the talk show in 3 sentences. It highlights the vast, unbridgeable chasm between the wealthy pundits in a Manhattan studio and the roughnecks keeping the lights on in America. This wasn't just a throwaway line. It was a precise, surgical incision, exposing the hypocrisy of modern media elites. This narrative choice is no accident. It is the signature of Taylor Sheridan, the architect behind the Yellowstone universe, and arguably the most powerful voice in television today. Sheridan has built an empire worth hundreds of millions by ignoring the sensibilities of coastal critics and speaking directly to the heartland. While other showrunners worry about offending the cultural gatekeepers, Sheridan actively antagonizes them. He understands that his audience, the millions of Americans who feel unheard by mainstream narratives, craves this authenticity. By using his characters to voice these frustrations, Sheridan validates the feelings of a massive demographic that feels lectured to rather than entertained. He is creating a parallel Hollywood, one that rejects the message in favor of the truth. This scene in Landman reinforces his deal with Paramount as a conservative counterweight in the streaming wars, proving that content respecting traditional values doesn't just survive, it dominates the ratings. Why target The View? Because for many Americans, that roundtable represents the epicenter of the disconnect. The show features wealthy personalities like Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar, who often lecture the public on morality and politics from a position of extreme privilege. The irony captured in the Landman script is palpable. Millionaires lamenting the state of the country while sitting in a golden tower. When Tommy Norris jokes about them having a bee up their ass about men like him and his father, he is voicing the exhaustion of the blue-collar worker. These are men and women who work dangerous jobs to fuel the nation, yet feel constantly scrutinized and judged by those who have never turned a wrench. The scene strips away the glamour of the talk show format and exposes it as a closed loop of grievance, completely detached from the reality of the people watching at home. The reaction was immediate and electric. Within hours of the episode airing, the clip began circulating wildly on social media platforms X and TikTok. The sentiment was overwhelmingly supportive of the show's boldness. Users praised the dialogue as truth-telling, with comments like, "No lies heard," flooding the replies under Variety's coverage. While a small faction of liberal critics called for a boycott, a standard tactic in today's digital warfare, their voices were drowned out by the laughter of the majority. One user sarcastically noted the shock of a Taylor Sheridan show expressing a right-leaning viewpoint, highlighting just how starved audiences are for this perspective. The attempt to cancel or shame the show has only served to fuel its popularity. In the court of public opinion, the verdict is clear. People are tired of the lecture, and they are cheering for the one show brave enough to mock the lecturers. We are now watching the clock, waiting to see if the hosts of The View will take the bait. If they respond on air this Monday, they risk falling exactly into the trap Sheridan laid out for them, proving his point by complaining about it. This potential feud is more than just celebrity gossip. It is a microcosm of the larger cultural fracture in America. On one side, the established media elite, protected by studio walls and high salaries. On the other, the rising tide of alternative media and storytellers like Sheridan who refuse to bend the knee. Landman has drawn a line in the sand, or rather, the West Texas dirt. It signals that the era of one-sided cultural dominance is ending. The viewers have options now, and they are choosing the content that respects their intelligence and their way of life. This isn't just a TV show, it's a statement of independence.